Hello, welcome to the channel. So next is multimodal RAG. So this is another chapter where we'll discuss about like how we can build a multimodal RAG system, right? So what exactly the multimodal RAG system is, right? When you talk about multimodal RAG, we understood RAG, we understood how RAG works, and we understood the traditional RAG. So in traditional RAG system, risk or uh, status are evaluated based on single data types, right? For instance, financial data, project milestones, or performance matrices, right? But in a multimodal RAG system, the risk or performance assessment consider multiple type of data inputs. You can say numerical data, uh, text, visual, or audio feedbacks, right? Different kind of data inputs, right? By integrating this different form of information, right, you get a holistic view. You can see the holistic view of a situation, which allows for more accurate and nuanced decisions, right? Let's, for example, if you think of like you are trying to send some text, okay, the text is, you can say like, a natural language processing. That's nothing but an AI model generating text, generate text might be rated on its accuracy, coherence, and relevance to a query, right? When we talk about images is related to the computer vision, okay? Then that the particular image generation model could be assessed for clarity, decision, or sorry, realism and uh, relevance. You can say relevance to the input prompt, right? And the other one could be the audio, which is very much related to the, actually related to the speech recognition. Whenever we are talking, we're able to recognize the speech or audio, right? So, and we can recognize, okay, this is the person, kind of that, right? So in speech to text system, you might measure accuracy and speed in, transcription, right? You can say that. So by integrating these data types together, a multimodal RAG system would access risk and performance across all the modalities at once, right? So providing an unified risk status, you can say like, combining all different kind of, input data sets, data types, you can get more accurate and more, bigger. You can actually build a bigger system out of that to, to make a very sophisticated RAG system. Now, let's think of like how this, when you talk about this, multimodal RAG system, what are the components? We know like it's a combination of multiple RAG workflows. That's all. Okay, it's combined in a combination of multiple RAG workflows with different kind of data sets. That's all, right? So if you combine all these things, then it will create a multimodal RAG system. So let's talk about like how this workflow works, right? Multimodal RAG workflow. So if you think of in our previous outcome, in our in our previous exercise, what we did, the outcome could be something like the query, the question asked by the user is the premium and VIP service in airports are reserved for which type of passengers, right? So whatever the time to generate, it will take the time to generate the query is, if we retrieve it and customize this through the RAG query and passing the query itself into that, it will be more specific, right? More specific, and it doesn't have to really search throughout the store, vector store. Rather, it will only look for the specific question itself, right? And then that's why it says like takes very less time and faster execution comparing to the previous one, right? So that's how it is, right? And if you think of like two things, ideally what it happens, the it usually, you know, usually what happens is like if we think of like in real world documents often contains more than just plain text, right? If you go to any website or any site or any newspaper or any research paper, it comes with some data, with some images, right? But what we think, okay, document is just just combination of texts, right? It's not like that. Often we doesn't get, we don't get plain text, right? Most of the time in a real world scenario we got textual plus non-textual tabular format images, all these things. So now the problem, how we can convert that particular document, the document which contains tables, images, texts, and different kind of different kind of formats, and how we can able to embed that particular document and store it into the storage. Right. So image cannot be converted into as a like the text, right? So in that case, how we can convert? So at that point of time, the multimodal system comes in picture, right? So there we have to deal with our multimodal system. We have to create a combine multiple RAG system, traditional RAG system into one. One is responsible to embed text, one is responsible to embed images, one is responsible for audio, and one is for video, right? If you have different kind of things, I mean, you want to train, right? So that's how handling such multimodal data introduces additional challenges in parsing, embedding, and retrieval, of the response we want to really retrieve, right? So that's how it is. So so to achieve a multimodal rack, so here are the steps, how it what it look like. So the first, we'll learn how to extract the text table and pictures from a complex document. So let's think of like this is a complex document we saw in our previous slide, right? So the complex document we saw here, right? So in this case, if you think of like this is one document, it has images, it has text and tables. So how we are going to extract? First, uh, the first thing first, we are going to extract the image and then extract the actual text and the table formats, right? If there are some information written in the table format, we're going to extract those things, right? So end of the day, what it will do, it will try to generate different kind of the produces different kind of objects. You can say like on the image, list of images, list of tables available over there, and the text, set of text, right? So that's how it look like end of the day, right? So next, once this is done, so our next objective would be to figure out how we can store the data as embeddings in the vector database, right? So that we can able to use it for our retrieval for any query or any conversation with the Gen AI itself, right? So that's what it is. So now we talk about the pillars of the pillars of multimodal RAG, right? So one is cliff embedding, other one is the multimodal prompting and the tool calling, right? So now as we prepare to actually building a fully fledged multimodal RAG system, there are few critical techniques to cover fast, as you said, the more specifically to handle the intricacies of images, text, and structured data seamlessly, we need to explore three essential building blocks of a multimodal RAG system, right? So as you said, like the first one is the cliff embedding, right? So the cliff embedding, what exactly this is? So these embeddings ideally allows us to bridge the gap between image and text for efficient cross-modal understanding, right? So if you see, we have one image here or set of images here, and we have also text here, right? So that means how we are going to describe this particular image, okay, as what exactly the image is doing here, what exactly is there in this image. So this image describes here two dogs running on a dirty road. Okay. So in this case, whenever this kind of, in the future, whenever this kind of image will be, encountered by this model, it will try to understand like, okay, these are the dogs, right? And they are running. And this is a dirty road, right? So those are that. So now this is how this strategy or this way or this embedding, you can say, this allows to fill the gap, right? Bridge the gap between the image and text. You can, most of the time, you can say it's a tagging, okay, tagging the image, right? So ideally, whenever you're storing photo in your phone, you tag people, right? Tag people in the photo, whoever is the photo, or tag something, what exactly this photo about, all these things, right? Some description about the photo. So that's where you can say, like in a sense, like it's a cliffing, right? And we explore how the cliff is nothing more than contrastive language image pre-training. Okay, so that's what how it works and why it's pivotal for multimodal RAG system. So we'll talk more about that, right? So this is just introduction of like how the what exactly the cliff embedding is. The second one is nothing but the multimodal prompting. So now you have cliff it. So how you are prompting? So now what you are doing, you are using the chat GPT, for example, and you are attaching this particular image we saw in our previous, on the previous slide. And we are asking like, explain this architecture, what exactly this architecture is, right? So it's trying to explain what the architecture is like. This architecture represents a multimodal design, right? To align and compare text embeddings and image embeddings for tasks such as image text retrieval, captioning, or multimodal understanding, right? Whatever it is. So how this is look like how the RAG understands like what exactly things are going on, right? Because we have the taggings, we have the textual description for each and every image. Now, now the RAG able to understand like what exactly this is, right? So so in this section, what exactly it happens, like we shall dive into this specific multimodal prompting and how it's done in our typical RAG system, right? So that's how we already, discuss some of the things about this, right? And then the third one is like the tool calling. What exactly the tool calling is? Tool calling is nothing but whenever we have embeddings, we have data, we have inputs to store, right? Then what next? The next thing is like, okay, now, this is one of the strategy for enhancing the capabilities of RAG system by dynamically calling external tools or APIs like OCR tools, table processor, or specialized ML models when required. That means, for example, you have a prescription, right? Doctor's prescription. How you want to decipher that? What exactly written over there, right? Into a readable format or tabular format. For that, you might not have the models available to convert to OCRs, but those tools are already available in the open source. You might call those through the API or use those tools as a library to deal with and deal with your use case, right? So that's how we can really work on those things, right? So this particular, this particular thing, if you see, like, we'll learn more capabilities and more in deeper. But I mean, inside how it really, how we can call these things. But learning these techniques will definitely set the stage for building practical, multimodal RAG system that can efficiently retrieve and process information across text, image, and structured data, right? So those are the things, right? So if we touch upon the basics, obviously we'll learn more about those all those building blocks. We'll cover that in one of our new chapter. Okay? And thank you so much. You haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And I'll try to make sure, like, I'll put more and more fundamental things to understand deeply the basic level, the base level, the fundamental level of the AI and Gen AI, so that you can really progress through your future career in Gen AI. Till then, take care.